Former NFL running back LeSean McCoy on who is under more pressure, Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers. This is from FS1's Speak.
I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson. I think the easier one would be, A-Rod, the bigger name, the bigger resume, bad Giant or Jets team, now he's there. But I'm going to go with Deshaun. I mean, I think that Deshaun's a younger player, so they expect Deshaun to play a lot longer, where A-Rod, 2 years, the most 3, if that, and Deshaun has a fully guaranteed contract.
Yep.
We watched Lamar Jackson go through hell to get that $230 million contract, and they gave it to Deshaun Watson. You'll be the hero. You're going to save the day for us. So I look at Deshaun because he's looking to come to the Browns to save the Browns. Every year you always talk about how the Browns, all they need is a quarterback, right? I mean, they were parading around Baker Mayfield because he took them to the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. And even though he was like the last part to that, but he still took them there. Where Deshaun Watson, he's a superstar. I mean, you look at his resume, right? He played with some bad teams, but he was the only shining star they had. So I'm going to Deshaun Watson.
G. Bush, it's an interesting question. There are some points. We've talked about it. We've said forever, give the Browns a above average to really good quarterback, and they're a playoff team.
Yeah, they are. And I think this year, and maybe this is a good thing for them because they are in West Virginia, they are away. I think there's this thing to be said for getting away, bonding, getting your mind together, figuring out where you guys want to be at for the first 8 days of camp, and putting in stuff and running offense. Like, there's a thing to be said for that. But when it comes to Deshaun Watson, I've said it all season, there's a lot of people that are consistently putting a lot of eggs in the basket of the six games at the end of the year. I mean, I don't know how other people would take it, but let's be clear. I mean, he was under an indefinite suspension. That could have been. He could have been indicted where he went to jail. It could have been a situation where he was not only suspended this year, but maybe next year, and no one knew what the unprecedented fine could have been. Not to mention he had not played in any games. He had not been in the preseason, no OTAs, none of that stuff. So every time we get a quarterback, right, and they get a new coach, the first thing we say is, he didn't have a regular offseason. Well, okay, Deshaun Watson didn't have a regular offseason. And even I can even point to the fact that it's unprecedented. No starter has ever come back in the middle of the season that was not injured. Like, he came back in the middle of the season when people were in playoff game shape. I mean, the teams have gone through the bye weeks and they're jockeying for playoff. They're in peak performance and conditioning. Now, you're asking a guy who couldn't even be in the facility or look at the playbooks or call anybody, you're going to say that guy's going to come off the street and light up starting NFL defenders in midseason form. No, it's not happening. So I think sometimes even I drank the Kool-Aid on that. A lot of media guys, even we had unrealistic expectations. So I think this is greatly overstated about what he needs to do, because if you look at a track record of his success, I could give you 9 or 10, 15 different ways to look at his success in the past, and I can say why that is actually the true meaning of where he's going to be at, other than the 6 games that he played last year at the end of the year.